You're listening to the Nature's Image Farm podcast. I'm your host, Greg Burns, and we're talking bees, homesteading, and the old-time ways. This episode is brought to you by EnduraHive wax-dipped equipment. The days of painting bee boxes are over. Our unique wax-dip process expels water from the wood, replaces and impregnates it with our proprietary blend of microcrystalline wax, offering superior weather protection inside and out, without the mess or expense of paint. No paint, no rot, no hassle. EnduraHive, built to endure. For more information, check them out at naturesimagefarm.com. Now, on to the show.
Dale, we've had a lot of fun here with you guys learning artificial insemination. You guys have done a really great job of making it so easy to understand and so easy to use the equipment. I know Jake and I are both going to go home ready just to rock and roll and fold this into what we do at the farm with our queen breeding program. So Dale, how in the world did you get into artificial insemination?
Well, a long time ago, I attended a course on Purdue University on how to inseminate queens. And the equipment they were using was from Europe, and they didn't have enough units for everybody in the class. So we doubled up and made it through it. And Crispin, the instructor and my good friend and partner now, had mentioned that he wanted more of those instruments, but was having trouble getting them. I said, well, I can make some of these. He didn't know me from Adam at that point. And he said, yeah, others have promised that, but we've never seen a delivery. So I came back to the shop, and in 2 weeks' time, I had made 3 complete copies of the unit he liked. And from that, at a more or less a fortuitous meeting with Dr. Hunt and Crispin at a bee expo, and we're sitting around drinking coffee and talking about instruments, and on a napkin I drew out the queen station.
Nice. The best ideas and things seem to always come written on a napkin over coffee, don't they?
Right. I wish I'd have kept that napkin. But from there, we decided that there is also a need for the modular system like they were using. And so we then designed and built the microstation. And then after the microstation, we decided that, well, we needed a CO2 unit, so we built that. And we needed a light unit, we built that. And so people who, beekeepers who might want to spend less money but want full quality can get into that. Then we built other items like cell transporters and grafting frames, and we have a whole host of tools for the beekeeper. All we build here is beekeeping equipment.
Right.
I mean, if somebody comes and wants a part for the race car, I'd say no. I could do it, but I prefer to do beekeeping stuff.
Right. So you started off, you saw a need, started making those insemination units. I think one of the big, beautiful flagship is the queen station.
Right.
It's the CO2 unit. You have your syringe, everything, your lights, your camera action, everything is in one beautiful integrated unit. Talk to us a little bit about the queen station.
The queen station has not needed any improvement since it was made. It, for whatever reason, call it luck, call it divine intervention, that thing came out of the gate complete, and the only improvements we've made is in the runtime on the machines, trying to improve tool paths and get things faster, But I will say that this winter we're going to go into a complete redesign on the sting forcep. We're going to have absolutely the best sting forcep that this world's ever seen in beekeeping. Wow. So we're going to spend a lot of time and money getting that right, and so we're big into innovation. I dream about new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So.
The innovation is one of the things where it starts to put in play that product that is going to make a huge difference. But it's one thing to be innovative. It's another thing to be able to have a quality product that's innovative.
Yeah. We pride ourselves on quality. We have had some revisions to instruments along the way. And what I tell anybody that buys from us is that if we make a revision to the model you have, I will send you the updates for free. If we have a model change, that's totally different. Right? Yeah. And I've done it, and we had a sensor fail on a unit that we make. And the person called me and said, "Hey, this thing is acting up." And over the phone, I diagnosed what it was. And without hesitation, I sent him another brand new one because he needed it. He was using it. I said, "Send the other one back when you get time. I'll repair it and use it here."
Yeah.
So when you buy components, sometimes something fails.
Right. Well, and customer service is unfortunately something that is really lacking in a lot of markets. And so if you can provide excellent customer service for those products, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
When you have an innovative product that is high quality and it comes at a price that reflects that, there's a lot of peace of mind knowing that if there is an issue, if I have a question, I can pick up the phone and call Dale, and there's going to be the customer service on the other end. That's a big deal.
Yep. So innovation, quality are two of our hallmarks. We also pride ourselves on the education end of it. We're as far as I know, the only one-stop shop where we design, we prototype, we build, we sell, and we train on that unit, and we train right here in the shop. So
that's a big deal. I know Jake and I have enjoyed our time here. It's one thing to be interested in getting into insemination. It's one thing to be able to go find a mentor or take a class and start to learn the art of insemination. But there's an entire there's a wonderful opportunity to be able to pair the equipment that you are going to be using with the actual education and learning how to inseminate on the equipment. That creates, I think, enormous opportunities to be successful.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, if you're interested in getting into insemination, if you can learn on the equipment, take the class with the equipment, and then that's the equipment you're taking home, I think your success rate just goes through the roof.
Absolutely.
And there's not a lot of opportunities where you can go to the place where it's milled and manufactured and take the class all in the same place. And I think what you're doing here is a wonderful opportunity for a lot of folks. Who do you think artificial insemination is for?
So there's a broad range of people and organizations it fits. I'll start with the high end. For instance, we've sold 2 units to the Army, U.S. Army. We've sold to just about every university that has a bead program has our Queen Station. And we have many private individuals with Queen Stations in their shop. And these are people that aren't necessarily 3,000 hive beekeepers. They're 50 hives, and they want to improve their stock. So we do sell a lot of Queen Stations to just average mom and pop shops, but we also sell a lot of the component systems, the micro stations, to people who have 10 hives and they want to jockey around with their genetics and learn as you go.
Right.
And sometimes being able to do insemination on queens takes out the variable of weather.
One of the big reasons that we're here is we felt like we are at a bottleneck with moving our genetics forward with an open mating breeding program. Mm-hmm. And so we were really trying to look into, okay, if we can grasp and start to practice the art of insemination, we can start really doubling down on the genetics that we are looking to propagate, not only for our customers, but for ourselves. The initial reluctancy was typically artificial insemination of queens. The information, by and large, was kind of held more at a university level, and it really wasn't in the limelight for the average bee farmer.
Right.
If we go back and look at the history of insemination, it goes back to the farm.
Yeah.
Cows cows, pigs, sheep, you name it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a natural progression, I think, for anyone who is farming bees, whether it's 10 colonies, 50, 500, or 5,000. When you are working to continue to push and move forward and do better and dig in and keep the genetics going in a positive direction, it's a natural progression to get into breeding. And once you have enough experience with open mating breeding and you see the results, and then you see, oh gosh, I can't seem to get past this wall. What do we do next? I think that's where insemination comes in. There's a lot of opportunities for folks.
Yeah. The universities kind of hold this close to the vest, this whole technique of insemination. And if you look on online videos, there aren't any videos that are absolutely complete that you could watch over and over and over, let's say, and feel like you learned that technique.
Right.
There's always, the little things are always left out, and they're the most important. So what our goal is with the education side of our business is to demystify all this. I mean, it's just not that complex, right? You've learned it now.
Yeah.
And
Jake has too.
Jake has, and hundreds of others. And so now it becomes something that the average beekeeper with above average curiosity can do.
That's a great way to say that. If we look back at the history of beekeeping, you know, there's always going to be. I guess we'll tread lightly here, because if we look back to the history of beekeeping, grafting, for instance, and queen rearing was something that was only to be exercised by the elites in that community. Right. And it's one of the most unfortunate disservices to the beekeeper. To make them feel like they're not good enough, they don't have the skill set, they're not smart enough, they don't understand all the nuances. Here's all this special secret information that, by the way, you can't have access to because you're not a gatekeeper or even close to the gate. For us at Nature's Image Farm, you know, one of our taglines is the contrary farmstead. Not that we are living our life to be constantly contrarians to the mainstream, but the path that we have chose for our family, our business, our future sometimes goes against the grain. You feel like you're swimming upstream, but that's a lot of us, and that's a lot of us that are out there digging in and doing the work, taking responsibility for our genetics. What we're doing on the farm with our bees leads you to the path to where you really have to get good at making bees and keeping those genetics moving forward. I'm really looking forward to getting a lot more experience, Jake and I both, doubling down on this education opportunity to start dialing in our genetics. It's going to be a lot of fun using something like the Queen Station. Everything is absolutely integrated. There's lots of other pieces of equipment and ways to do this, but for us, what I like about the Queen Station is everything is integrated. It's all in one. You plug it in, you're ready to rock and roll. Why that's important is now that Jake has training, if the rest of our kids grow up into this too, right? They're all training on the same piece of equipment, the same know-how. We're passing the torch on, and we have a beautiful piece of equipment all built in for them to do that. Dale, I really appreciate the opportunity for Jake and I to come out here, spend some time with you, spend some time with Crispin, learning some of the nuanced details of it. There is, without a shadow of a doubt, an art, not only to beekeeping, but there is an art to queen rearing. And when you get into insemination, you know, there's definitely a touch and nuance to it. But I think it's totally within the reach of anybody, like you said, have above average curiosity for it. There's a lot of opportunities there, I think, for folks to get into this.
All right. Well, I mean, the pleasure's all mine in hosting you and your son. I find that with every class, I improve my skills, and I learn a lot about the beekeeping community that I wouldn't otherwise have access to. You know, it's one thing to watch a YouTube video. It's much different to sit down with the person and enjoy their company. And you know,
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for everything. If folks want to find more information about queen stations, micro stations, CO2 stations, all the things that you guys are producing here at Apis Engineering, where can folks find Apis Engineering?
apisengineering.com. Everything's on our website. We are rebuilding the website right now, so if you log on and it says it's not there, it's because we're recompiling or whatever they do. I don't know. But we are in Wheatfield, Indiana, on our website is my phone, my address, and you can feel free to call me anytime you like, and we'll set you up.
Awesome.
Yep.
Dale, thanks again. It's been awesome. Looking forward to getting some run time on the machine and really just doing the best that we can, providing inseminated queens not only for our own purpose and use, but to provide those for our customer base too. So we can't thank you enough for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Nice meeting both of you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, Dale.
Yep.
As always, I want to remind you to be the lighthouse and be the change you want to see in this world. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.